Welcome, folks. This is Dan Powers at Champion Solutions Group. Just wanted to give you a brief 5-minute update on one of the ebridge features of reporting. And this, of course, we're looking at the integration girder for BigFix, now owned by HCL Software. One of our clients had asked us to create some other dashboards for them. So this is what we're trying to show is a great way to look at the leverage or the power of ebridge in your environment. In this case, we're looking at BigFix data. And for some of you might have noticed, a lot of this looks a little bit like the web UI with some interesting differences. For an example, BigFix incidences. You won't get this out of the web UI, but we can pull this information out of other data resources. In my current lab here, we actually have QRadar and Logarithm running, so we're pulling some information out of those SIM technologies. But if you notice, we have some of the same things you see in the web UI of devices being managed, baselines and patches. We can even see some of the critical baselines that are needed here, for an example, required and minor and so forth. But there's a couple other things that are kind of interesting here besides that. Also notice BigFix agents needed 19. This is a typical thing we see in a lot of cases when we roll out BigFix or any other type of software that requires an agent is always, well, did we install it everywhere? And sometimes that can be hard to answer. I don't know how many active devices there are on a network. How do we get that information? Well, what we're doing here in the power of eBridge is we're also pulling information from Active Directory, as I said, QRadar, SolarWinds, different things. And with that intelligence, we can realize there's other devices on the network that actually don't have an agent installed. So it's telling us that there's 19 devices that we see in the environment that are currently not running BigFix and actually are applicable to run the agent. So we can actually kick off a workflow to automatically leverage BigFix with that bi-directional capability to kick off the agent install of those other devices. So kind of unique. We can also see back in our releases, we're seeing just like the web UI, we're seeing all sorts of new patch releases information out of here. Some of our security updates were asked for. The other thing that I thought was pretty cool is we were able to add the CVE scorings. So as you may or may not know, inside of all the patches inside of BigFix are CVE numbers if they're there, but it's hard to report on it, hard to get that information out, and a lot of times you may be sitting with the the infrastructure folks responsible for BigFix, the servers, and the security team, and they're coming to you with Rapid7 reports or Qualys, and they're talking CVS scoring and CVE numbers. This makes it a little bit easier because I can drill right into this by clicking on it, and it's going to show me the different fixlets, as I can see here, that are actually uh, applicable to that CVE number that we just listed. So it makes it kind of unique that we get this information out. And quite honestly, I can keep drilling in here. Once we have the data, it's incredibly easy to come in here and understand where these CVEs are and which machines that they are referring to. So it's kind of very cool in that environment that we can grab all of this disparate information, if you will, and bubble it all up to the very top with something like ServiceNow when we're looking at this kind of dashboard here. So it's very unique. These are just some of the couple new things that we added into the environment as of recent. We can drill into the required or the critical patches as well. We can start seeing all this information about these devices and what's out here. .NET, for example, we can drill into here. We can see the machines that require this patch. So again, from an ease of use, from not having to do a swivel chair, we're combining various different levels of sources of information, if you will, to give us a complete overview of your environment in this case. So it's not just the BigFix data, we're leveraging that wealth of information, but we're also comparing it to other information in your environment so we can really drill down and see what's going on. A couple other neat things was this ROI, which we're going to build out a little more, but this is also interesting to me. Excuse me. A lot of times they ask, well, okay, we put this automation in. What kind of cost savings are we doing? So if we notice here, it's, hey, we've been running for 1 day and 3 hours inside this lab environment. We had some automations we kicked off, some workflows, and so far it's been saving us about $630. This is an estimated cost, and what we allow you to do is have like a level 1, level 2, level 3 resource apply to them some of the tasks. Let's say it's patching, let's say it's software rollout, resetting a password, whatever the case may be. And you can assign these workflows, and we actually track the automation that eBridge gives you to show you what you're getting out of ROI. So very simple here at the beginning, but we are going to expand on this to give you some really cool reports out of that as well. And just for you that's remembered, if we go back to the basic homepage of the eBridge dashboard, this is kind of what we're seeing here. It is giving us an overview of the entire location of BigFix, all the information, still showing our ROI, as I just kind of drilled into before, and we can still do all that base automation. So remember, eBridge for your corporation, we are slowly building this out to integrate with all sorts of third-party products. Another interesting one is Office 365, which we'll do another video of, which really shows you how your Office 365 is working, bringing that data into the CMDB and ServiceNow, and being able to do really complete workflows, as well as going off with the proper authorization and workflow to actually provision Office 365 accounts, managing your licenses, and understanding exactly how your Office 365 is working in your environment. So if you have any curiosity of Champion and ServiceNow, we do constant integrations through the eBridge framework into ServiceNow for bi-directional communications. So again, this was just a quick 3-minute video. I hope you found it interesting, and thank you for watching.